If you thought royal family reconciliations were polite affairs over tea and cucumber sandwiches, think again. The latest whispers from behind palace walls tell a very different story, one where Meghan Markle's piercing glare nearly stole the spotlight. Yes, reports claim Meghan gave Princess and a death stare during a so-called private meeting of reconciliation. And as if the drama wasn't enough, the royals allegedly stripped Meghan of a key role right after. Coincidence? Hardly. So what really went down in that gilded room? And why does one look, just one, have the power to change everything? Let's unpack it. But before we continue, please subscribe, like, and turn on the notification bell for more updates. The meeting that was supposed to heal wounds. Imagine the scene. Heavy drapes, polished oak tables, the faint clink of teacups. The royal family reportedly gathered in private, attempting what many called a reset button moment. Tensions had been simmering for years. Megxit, Oprah's interview, tell-all books, Netflix specials. The family reunion wasn't about small talk. It was about closure, forgiveness, and maybe a chance to rebuild trust. But in a family where every glance is scrutinized, reconciliation is tricky business. Meghan was invited as a sign of goodwill. Princess Anne, famously blunt and no-nonsense, was seated opposite her. That's when, according to insiders, Meghan's expression turned cold, sharp, and unmistakably hostile. A look so intense it froze the room. And just like that, the supposed healing moment spiraled into another storm. Why the death stare struck a nerve. Now, here's the thing about Princess Anne. She's not the type to let a room dictate her emotions. Known for her steely composure and straight-talking nature, and has built her reputation on duty, not drama. Which is why Meghan's glare didn't go unnoticed. Royal watchers claim and raised an eyebrow, gave a subtle nod, and carried on speaking. But to the rest of the family, that tiny exchange carried the weight of decades of tension. Was it disrespect? Was Meghan making a silent statement? Or was it simply a tired look caught at the wrong moment? Whatever the case, the fallout was immediate. Within days, Meghan's ceremonial role, already diminished, was quietly reassigned. One gesture, one unspoken signal, had shifted the family's stance. The royals' calculated response. Here's where it gets even juicier. Stripping Meghan of her role wasn't just about protocol, it was about sending a message. Royal insiders know and represents tradition, discipline, and the old guard. A clash with her isn't brushed aside. By removing Meghan's duties right after the incident, the palace seemed to be saying, respect the hierarchy or face the consequences. Think of it like an office politics moment, only with crowns and castles. Imagine glaring at the COO during a company retreat and then suddenly finding your project responsibilities reassigned. That's essentially what Meghan faced. But here's the million-dollar question. Was this reaction fair? Or was it fueled by long-standing resentment toward her? Meghan's side of the story. Let's pause for a second and put ourselves in Meghan's shoes. She's walked into a room where trust is paper-thin. Every eye is on her, and every word she says could spark another tabloid frenzy. That kind of pressure is brutal. Maybe the death stare wasn't intentional. Maybe it was exhaustion, a fleeting look, or even a silent plea for respect. After all, Meghan has long claimed she's been misunderstood by the press and the palace alike. Could this just be another case of a single moment being magnified into a narrative? And yet, the irony remains. Her expression, whether deliberate or not, ended up fueling exactly the kind of scandal she's tried to escape. The ripple effect on the family dynamic. Here's where it gets fascinating. A private meeting meant to mend fences ended up reinforcing divisions. Princess Anne's calm dismissal of the moment made her look steady, while Meghan's reaction painted her, again, as the outsider. But think deeper. Isn't this the exact tension at the heart of the monarchy today? The old versus the new. Tradition versus change. Silence versus speaking out. Meghan embodies the break from centuries-old rules, while Anne represents their endurance. Their clash wasn't just personal, it was symbolic. And for the public, symbolism matters. One stare has become a shorthand for the battle of values shaking the royal family. What can we learn from this? If you strip away the crowns and palaces, this is a very human story. Haven't we all been in a room where one look spoke louder than words? A family gathering where someone's glare cut deeper than any insult? Or a workplace meeting where your silent reaction carried unintended consequences? The Meghan, an incident reminds us of a simple truth. Communication isn't just about what we say. It's about how we look, pause, or react. And sometimes, those tiny unspoken moments can change the entire trajectory of relationships. So, maybe the takeaway here isn't about royal drama at all. Maybe it's about us asking ourselves, how often do our silent gestures tell stories we never intended to tell? Final thoughts.